I'm sure you've all got millions of ideas brewing in your head and you just want to make them all right. Well, good news, blocks can really speed up the pattern making process. Hi, welcome to Pattern Making with Leigh. If you're new to the industry or just started studying fashion, you might not have heard of blocks, but blocks are really important to the pattern making process. Let's use Simon Sinek's golden circle theory again to make sure we really understand their value. Blocks exist to save you time and therefore money. They also give you consistent fit and sizing across all your designs, which is really important for your customer and brand, or for yourself if you're making clothes for you. Blocks are used as a base to create a pattern for a specific design. So rather than starting from scratch, you can use a block. So, what are they? This is where what you learn at fashion school splits from what happens in the industry. When people traditionally say blocks or slopers, they're referring to these 5 fitted blocks. Front and back bodice, front and back skirt, and the sleeve. They don't have seam allowances or design features like style lines, yokes, cuffs, or pockets. All they have are the necessary darts and seams to create a simple shell that fits the body of your sample size or your size if you're making clothes for you. And they're traditionally cut in cardboard because it's easier to trace around and more durable, and they hang in little hangers on the studio. And the idea is you grab this block, trace around it, and then use it as a base to create a design for a specific pattern. And you add all the design details like lengthening the hem and changing the neckline, adding design features like pockets, that sort of thing. So what really happens in the industry? While the purpose of blocks, so save time and money, stays the same, the definition of what a block is gets a bit blurry for 2 reasons. Take a look at all these trousers. There's a range, right? Oversized and baggy, loose and high-waisted, and figure-hugging tight. Wouldn't it be easier and quicker to have a range of basic trouser blocks to work from? I certainly do. I've got tight, loose, really baggy, lower crotch shorts, some peg leg pants, anything I can get my hands on. I tell all my fashion students to do the exact same thing. Whatever blocks you can collect that you like, put them in a folder, and as you get ones you prefer more, you can get rid of the old ones. And you can purchase the ones I perfected over my career on my website, clicked-pattern-kits.com. And I'm actually wearing my oversized shirt block now. And if you're not sure how to make your own patterns, if you're new to pattern making, don't worry, I've written a guide to go with each block. This breaks down the pattern making process into really easy to follow steps, and I'll show you how to make any pattern or for any design based off that block. Okay, so I have a huge range of blocks that I work from, but the second reason the definition of blocks gets a bit blurry in the industry is because you can use the pattern from previous styles as a block too. Perhaps this design sold well and it's become sort of staple for the brand, and each season you're kind of creating the exact same style but in a different fabric. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you can also adapt a pattern to make a new design, like I did for this jacket at Alexander McQueen. If you take a look at the whole collection, you'll see this jacket appears in lots of looks. And if we zoom in, you can see the collar lapel shape, the break line of the collar, and the shoulder are the same. Rather than provide a sketch, the designer got a sample of this jacket and twisted it on the model and sort of pinned it in place, and then gave me the draped jacket to create a pattern from. See how it's been pulled around the back and twisted on itself? I'll explain how I made the jacket another day, but because the drape came from an existing jacket, it makes sense to start with that pattern, and because the top of it is exactly the same, it's just the bottom that gets twisted. This is another jacket that I made while I was working at Alexander McQueen. We didn't really have a biker jack block per se, so what I did was get an existing 2-piece sleeve jacket block with the right shoulder, and then change the front lapel and add all the design details. And once that was approved, I then used that jacket pattern to create this other jacket. See the similarities and the differences? So you can see the definition's a bit blurry now, but essentially all you're doing is using an existing pattern or a block to speed up the pattern making process and use it as a base to create a new pattern for a new design. As I mentioned, if you have no idea how to do this, I have written guides to go with all my blocks that you can buy. Blocks are a very important time-saving tool, but you need other things to make patterns too. Check out this next video to find out the tools that you really need to create patterns, and the ones everyone recommends, but I don't think you actually really need anymore. If you've already got all your equipment, you can skip ahead to episode 5 of my Introduction to Pattern Making course, where I discuss the sampling process and what's involved in actually creating your own collection. And if you're a member of my channel, you can check out how I used a block to create this red flounce dress.